Hi everyone, it's Kimberly here at Kimberly's Fabric Stash, and this is Fabric Bundle Friday, our week in review, and we're so excited to have you join us this week. As you can see, we've changed our background. This is my inner sanctum. This is where all our sewing and quilting and crafting goes on, and we've got some good displays on the wall behind me. If you notice, there's the Valentine's table runner that we showed a couple weeks ago. The Kim Deal small table topper with the courthouse steps is next to that. And we're just so excited that you're here. We're hoping you're having a great week. I've had an interesting week so far. If you've read my blog post, you know that Murphy from Murphy's Law came to visit and live in my house for a couple of days, and had a really good time trying to get through some YouTube upload issues and computer issues. And you know, if one thing goes wrong, it seems like everything else goes right along with it. So so it's been an interesting week. We have a lot of projects that we want to share. I want to share with you today. I've got a lot of little things. They're not all quilt related because I also dabble in other areas, as you know, like embroidery and wool and cross stitching and all those areas as well. So so let's get started. And what I want to start off with first is the fact that I have in front of me here, this is my last half yard bundle from Kim Deal with all 8 of the cream backgrounds that I showed you last week. So we blew through a bunch of these bundles this week, and so this is the bundle here. And again, this is my last half yard bundle. So if you're interested in this, you definitely want to head over to the website. It's $42 out the door. That includes your shipping. There's 8 half yard cuts there. And I just want to let you know that that's where sorry to leave out of the screen there. Just want to let you know that's what we have left. So we still have Kim Deal cream fabrics on the bolt that you can buy, and you can order half yard cuts, but we have sold out of one of the bolts. So if you're interested in that, head on over. Now, before we get further along, if you scroll down in this Facebook feed, I went ahead and put up all the links to everything I'm going to show you today and talk to you about. So all you have to do is scroll down to one below this one, and you'll be able to see you know, you'll be able to click on the different links, and they'll take you over to the different areas of everything we've done this week. So Kim Deal's doing well. If you're a Kim Deal fan and you happen to notice the courthouse steps table topper behind me, that was done with the log cabin trim tool from Creative Grids, and that is 6-inch. The 12-inch ruler also includes the 6-inch, and I did a demo on that last week, but that is now hanging up. It's quilted, and the binding's on it. So right there, we've had a success. We put binding on something, and you know, it went well, and now it's up on display. So there's a little inspiration for you if you're not quite sure, if you have a bundle, a fat quarter bundle or something to that effect, and you're not quite sure what to do with it. Take out a ruler. If you have, like I said, a Creative Grids ruler is, to me, always the best, because you can make blocks quickly and put something together, put it on your table, and it'll be ready to go. So the next thing we have to show is a little project that now this is not quilting. This is my cross stitch pillow that I've been working on, and let me just go like that. Okay, so this is from a company called, hold on, I have a cheat sheet here, Everything Cross Stitch. The link is below, and you can see that it's just a little sheep. I put it on a wool backing here. I just made a little pillow, and Everything Cross Stitch is one of my newest favorite sites to go to for cross stitching. They not only have a lot of great patterns for every category you can think of, they also have supplies. So if you're you know, needing floss or backgrounds or something to that effect, you can buy all those in with the pattern. So it's almost like a one-stop shopping kind of thing. Now, that was back in the day. It seemed like all of cross stitch was done on 14 count Aida cloth or 16 count Aida cloth. Well, we've I guess decided that we have to go for the gusto nowadays and do cross stitch on like 28 count linen or 32 count linen. My example there was done on linen. I will switch back to 14 count after this for quite a while because my eyes are about crossed after looking at these tiny little squares. There's a lot of really good YouTube videos on how to do cross stitch on 32 count linens. So or 28 count linen. So if you are interested in doing any type of cross stitch work, you know, there are YouTube videos to help you, because back when it was just 14 count Ada cloth, it was quite simple and you didn't really need to, you know, you knew you'd count over and you just make your X. Well, now with 32 count or 28 count linen, it's a little more it's a little difficult. So hopefully a good pair of glasses, or at least a magnifying glass, a good light is highly recommended if you're going to sit there and cross stitch. So that's our little pillow there that we made this week. And again, the website is Everything Cross Stitch, and that link is down, like I said, already uploaded here on my Facebook page. So that was one project I finished, and I did mount it on a piece of wool just because I think that it needed to be on make a little wool pillow, and it went on quite easily enough. So that was the easy part of doing the entire cross stitch. But cross stitching is fun, and there's a lot of talented designers out there. So depending on what you want to cross stitch, I'm sure there's a pattern available that, you know, would, you know, suit your needs. So that's kind of where I'm at with cross stitching right now. So we've done a couple other projects, but those were more fall oriented. So I'll show them to you in the coming months. So next thing we have is we have done a Facebook video, YouTube video this week on our pattern that we had posted in last week's blog. So this is our Sweethearts pillow, and we'll go like this, and we'll bring it back a little bit. So this is the 14-inch pillow that we shot the YouTube video on this week. And a couple things that I want to point out that are a little unusual for this is the fact that we have here this puppy dog applique. And I want to explain to you today how we did, or how I did that. And because many of you started asking me about taking clip art and putting it onto fabric, and how that is done, or taking a photo and put it on fabric. And we talk about it a lot more in the YouTube video, and the link for the video is down below here on the Facebook page. But basically, in order to get this dog or any clip art onto fabric, one of the things that I've been using for years, and we used it when we had the store, was a product called EQ Printables. And there is a link down for this as well. He'll take you over to Amazon, and you can get it right off of Amazon. So this is EQ Printables. There are, I think, 6 sheets in a package, maybe 10. And you run it through, you take whatever you want to copy. Let's say you want to do a photo, or you have a piece of clip art that you've saved to like a Google Doc, and you want to print that off onto a piece of muslin. Now, I know that there are people out there that will take freezer paper, iron it down to a piece of muslin, cut it out, and send that through their printer. And that's great. And if you're good at that and you get a great print quality from doing something like that, by all means, go ahead and keep doing it that way. However, there are those of us that really don't want to mess around with ironing freezer paper and cutting it out and hoping that my printer won't jam, because like I said, Murphy's Law lives at my house. So basically I get that, and I will take my photo that I want to copy onto those sheets, and I put that in like the bed of the copy machine, and then I'll run that paper through, which is actually a piece of fabric, and then it has that's all done on an inkjet printer. And I just use a regular Canon inkjet printer. I don't have any, $1 million inkjet printer, but you can't use it in a laser printer, because the laser printer heats up and it'll actually like melt that whole thing. So don't use a laser printer if you decide to do this. Then at that point, what you can do is you print that off, and then you let it sit for like 15 minutes. And if you haven't like a quilt that you're going to actually be washing later on, they tell you in the instructions to wash or rinse it so that it sets the ink. That way later on when you wash it, it doesn't bleed or anything like that. Now on my pillow, because it's a pillow and I'm not washing the pillow, I went ahead and just let it dry for 15 minutes. And then I cut out my shape that I was going to use for my pillow. And then I ironed that onto some Heat and Bond Light peeled that off, stuck it down, and you can see me doing that in the YouTube video that I shot this week. So that's how, if you're want to try and transfer photos or clip art or something onto a quilt, or I don't know, a tabletop or a pillow or whatever you're making, I like the EQ printables. I think it is the best product on the market. There's a higher thread count on the sheet so that you aren't dealing with a lot of fade out or just kind of a flimsy kind of fabric. There's nothing worse than like a low thread count. And in quilt world, everything is about thread count. So higher thread count, the better it is, the better quality. So that's what we ended up using for the clip art image on that. Now, let me preface this as well. For clip art, make sure you're using free clip art. Don't go out there and, you know, steal somebody's image and put that on your product. That's never a good thing. Designers work really hard and they need paid for their work, but there are designers or companies that upload free clip art. So in order to get the vintage little puppy that I did for mine, because he looked like a old time fashioned Valentine's card, I just typed in free Valentine's clip art on Google and it took me over to some images and I got it off of a free site. So that being said, make sure that you are, you know, using either free or you pay for your design. You know, if you're over on Etsy or something and you have clip art over there, you know, you're paying for it, and then you can use it as long as you follow their restrictions and all those kinds of things. Because like I said, we don't want to be stealing people's work. So that's my big lecture on making sure that you're using something that you've either paid for or it was certainly for free. So that being said, that was the pillow that we did a YouTube video on this week. Let's see what else we want to talk about here. Let's talk about our sheep block of the month, and I'm going to turn behind me and grab it because he's on the stand behind me here. And this is a new, for this year, block of the month that we're going to be doing. And let me see if I can get this nicely. Okay, so this is the stand from Ackfeld, and those of you that have ever visited the shop when it was a brick and mortar know that we carried Ackfeld stands. This is a new stand from them. Notice the sheep up in the corner. Well, oh, he's over here. And and it has these two cute little clips here to hold our little block of the month. So the January block of the month, let me flip this up here like this. The January block, and if you notice, I got the eyes at least on the snowman, and that was the same day that we had a lot of issues with the YouTube video that we were shooting in Murphy's Law and all those kinds of things. So this was the January block of the month, which is still available. I know it's February, like tomorrow, so it's a little late, but we got it out there. Anyway, so this is called Simply Sheep, and there's 12 months, there's 12 blocks, and the way I want to run this block of the month, and this is the February, so we got this one up and ready to go. The way I want to run this block of the month is that every month that you decide to do this, you get, let me put this down so that I can talk with my other hands here. Every month you're going to get the pattern for that month. So if it's March, you're going to get March's pattern, and then I'm sending you a Woolly Charms pack from In the Patch Design. So each month you'll get a different color. Now, most of you who work in wool already have black backgrounds, gray backgrounds, white backgrounds. You don't need more background fabric, but you might not have a variety of different colors. And then when you have these little wool packs, I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to make it, okay, it's stuck. Anyway, you get a different little pattern within each packet. So there are 5 sheets, all 5-inch squares inside of these packets. But what this will do is build your wool stash. So if you have a lot of black, but maybe not any green, one of these months you're going to get a green pack of 5-inch charms. So every month in the mail, you get a pack of charms. So this is like a purple one, or this is like the pink one for like Valentine's month. You know, Christmas would have like a green or a red, or in the fall you'd have like an orange or something to that effect. You get my point here. But each month you're going to get this and the pattern in the mail for $20, and that includes the shipping. So that way you can do your little sheepy and put them up on your stand. Now the Ackfeld stands are $22. And you'd have to order, you know, those and to order, hang up your sheepy, or if you have some other type of hanger, you can hang it on the wall or whatever you want to do. But that's how we're going to run our Simply Sheep block of the month. Is you're going to need a wool pack, wool charm pack, which has a variety of 5 different, like, there's like prints or plaids or whatever inside of each one of these, different color each month with your pattern. So that's how we're running our block of the month. There is a link at the bottom. Like I said earlier, if you scroll down, there's a link over to sign up for that. So if you want to start with February, start with February. If you want to start with January, let me know, like, hey, Kim, I want to start with January, and then we'll include January, February, or however. So this gets billed to your credit card every month. And like I said, the shipping's included. So it's $20. You get the pattern and the woolly charm kits. And this is a really nice way of building up your charm or your wool collection, because a lot of times when we work in wool and we're doing applique, it doesn't take a whole lot to do these pieces. Let me bring that back over, because you can clearly see that, like, these hearts right here, this one and this one all came off of a charm square. So it didn't take a whole lot to make those two charms. Now, one thing I want to note as well is if you look at mine, and I'm going to set it there for just a second, my top portion, this pink houndstooth that you're seeing, that is actually a piece of flannel. Through different various friends of mine and a long time ago, we decided that flannel is perfectly fine for working with wool. Wool can be very expensive, and a lot of us don't have a ton of money to throw at wool because we want to quilt and do other things like, I don't know, hand embroidery or whatever. But the point is we actually do a lot of different things where we add in different types of fabric. So you might see flannel and wool together. The saying across the top is actually on a piece of Moda Primitive Gatherings tallow. 104021 I think is the item number on that. But anyway, so in order to stabilize the back, though, I used Depel-On 808, which is just an iron-on stabilizer. So I ironed my flannel houndstooth to make it kind of stiff, and then I just hand sewed through that. So that's, you know, stiff enough to keep a shape, but not so stiff that I can't hand sew through. So that's how I get away with doing my wool, is I don't use just strictly wool. Now, those of you that do, and you have a nice, cool, awesome stash of wool, that is fantastic. Definitely keep doing that, and that's great. But for those of you that maybe can't afford very expensive wool, you can also use regular felt. You know, just use your own imagination. So there aren't any rules to this as far as you must have nothing but 100% wool. So keep that in mind. If you decide to do it, that's our Simply Sheep block of the month. And that's $20 for the month, includes the shipping, the pattern, and the woolly charms. Each month will be a different color. So that's our next item. Now, this was the pattern. I should have showed you this earlier. This was the pattern for the cross stitch that I did. It's from Little House Needleworks. It's called Simplicity. So that is the pattern. So if you head over to the cross stitch company there that I mentioned earlier, and you Google that, that's the pattern I used. So just a little housekeeping on that one. This is a charm, a woolly charm set. This has different blacks in it. So each one of these has a different black print to it, so that you can, you know, get a variety of little black prints too. All right, now, what else are we talking about here? So one of the other things is new is Creative Grids has released a line of rulers called IttyBitty 8s. And this is their 6-inch ruler. And what I want you to notice here is that the marks are highlighted so that you're not squinting trying to find the 1/8-inch line, because when pattern designers cut a square 4 7/8, you're always searching for that 1/8, that 7/8, or that 5/8. It's like, am I on it? Am I not on it? So Creative Grids, as always, have solved a problem and have made a series of rulers called IttyBitty 8s, and the 1/8 marks are well marked on here. Therefore, you're getting accuracy. So this is like I said, a new line of rulers. This one retails for $18. This is the 6x6. There are, I think, 3 different sizes. If you're interested, shoot me an email or PM me or message me below. if you need, like, I think there's a 17-inch size, I think there's a 9, but if you are doing a lot of work and you're trying to be accurate, this is a new ruler for you. Now, we like Creative Grids because on the back side, they always have these little, what are they? Well, there's circles on here, but they're grippies, okay? So when you lay it down and you're trying to rotary cut, it's not just moving all over the place on you. So again, with Creative Grids, we always like them because they have the pre-built grippies installed already on the ruler. So good thing. But these are new rulers, this from Creative Grids, IttyBitty 8. So if you're interested, let me know and we can get some ordered and send them out to you. So that's a good thing. All right. Let's see. So it is Fabric Bundle Friday, and one of the things that we did different this week for our Fabric Bundle is, instead of just showing you bundles and having you figure it out all on yourselves, I took a Villa Rosa pattern here. So this is French braids, and I've gone ahead and cut the fabrics to go with this. So this is a patriotic bundle, and let me get this into the camera. Okay, right there. So these this pattern goes with this bundle, and the white in here would be the black in the picture. So this is the French braids bundle. This bundle is going to sell for $60. It makes a quilt that is 63 by 81. So that's a good size lap quilt. And if you're not familiar with Villa Rosa, I'm going to set the bundle here. If you're not familiar with Villa Rosa, I'm going to turn this over here on the back. This is the pattern, and let's get the glare off here. Okay, so you can see that it tells you how many fabrics that you need, and I'm reading off my screen, so I'm not looking at you. How to cut them, how to sew them, and how to put them together. So Villa Rosa is great for even beginners. If you're new to quilting and you're trying to figure all this out, this is very simple. It's a very simple pattern. It's pretty much a fence rail. So if this is something that you are trying to get into and you're not quite sure how to navigate the quilting world, Villa Rosa is the absolute best for you know, kind of getting your feet wet in quilting world without being frustrated. So again, this bundle here, French braids, you're gonna have to PM me or email me your invoice for something like this, because I have not got this up on the website yet. So again, this one makes a quilt that is 63 by 81, and the French braids bundle kit goes for $60. So basically what you're getting is 6 1/2 yards, a 3/4 yard border, the background, which is 2 3/4 yard, and the binding. We always include the binding on all our quilts because we know that you need to be able to have it bound so that you can do whatever and, you know, put it out and wash it and all those kinds of things. So this is French braids bundle. So that's the one bundle we have for you today. The other bundle, and that ships free, by the way, that $60 includes the shipping. So when I give you prices, I'm always trying to make sure that I remember to tell you the shipping's included or the shipping's not included. So if you have a question, let me know. Okay. The other one that we put together today is the Hartford Bundle. Now this is the pattern, again, from Villa Rosa, and this is going to, and I did it in patriotic because Quilt of Valors is getting ramped up again for this year. So here are your 4 fabrics. These are 4 1-yard cuts. I figured the flag would be your border on this quilt. Let me throw this back here now. Now they did not show the optional border in this picture. Notice that it's missing, okay? But the flags would be an optional 5 1/2 inch border, which we're gonna want a border on it. And so you're getting 4 yards total here. And again, this makes a 52 by 64. So those of you that are doing Quilt of Valor, this is a very simple yet quick and easy quilt to make, and therefore you shouldn't have any trouble putting it together and getting it out to your recipients this year. And once you have the pattern, you can reuse it, just get different fabrics and keep going. So the Hartford bundle with the shipping and the pattern comes to $40. And again, if you are interested in that, PM me or go ahead and just leave me your email at the bottom, tell me Hartford, and I will send you an invoice through PayPal, because that's how we do that. So these 2 last bundles are not on the website yet. I haven't had a chance to put them up today. We just kind of like had a busy week, so that happens. So let's see if there's anything else I have to tell you going through my list here. Oh, yes. We have back in stock the we have two Moda Crackles. One is navy. The other one is the popular beige that most people use when they do a lot of handwork, like Kathy Schmidt's embroidery. So those items are back on the website. Just type in Crackle and you'll see them come up. The other thing that we've got back in stock this week was the Cherry Red Grunge. A lot of people enjoy that, especially around Valentine's Day or patriotic quilts or Christmas quilts or whatever you're using red fabric for. We do have the Cherry Red Grunge back in stock, as well as the white grunge that has kind of the gray-green background. That's very, very popular. And so if you type in grunge on the search on the website, you will find those two grunges that come back up. And we have a couple other grunge as well, but I want to let you know that those are back in stock and ready to ship. So if you have a need for grunge or crackle fabrics, we have it. And that basically is going to wrap up this week's review of everything that's going on. Hopefully next week we have some other cool things to show you. Well, there's always things in the work. I always have something going on, yes. So we'll have other things for you next week as well. And coming into February, just a little side note, here at Kimberly's, we, as many of you know, raise dairy and meat goats. So coming up in the month of February, we should have baby goats to show. So we look forward to sharing that with you. We won't show you them, actually, kidding, but we will show you the babies. So that will be fun coming up this month. And hopefully they don't go ahead and kid on like a negative 32-degree night or something crazy, because that's usually when goats decide to drop and have kids. So that's coming up for us for February. We're very excited about that. We're very excited about Valentine's Day. We hope you have like a cool Valentine's Day thing coming up for yourself. If you notice in the background, we have ours, our table runner and our mug rugs ready to go and the pillow. So we're kind of decked out already for Valentine's Day. So that's pretty much our week. I hope you had a good week. I hope you have a great weekend. And go ahead and, comment or email me if you have any questions. My email is pitsewing@gmail.com. The link Shop Now button on the Facebook page will take you over to the website. And then the links to everything else we talked about today is below this post. So if you have any questions or concerns or would like to see something, have me talk about something, let me know, because I can talk about anything. So I hope you're having a good weekend and have a blessed week next week, and we'll see you next Friday. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.